joined, there was a little of a blur issue. So, just give us, we're just talking about, the Honorable ED is with us already, and we are just waiting for the MD, and everybody else is here. We are joined by Sri Shankarji as well. And of course, our host for the evening, Jyoti ji, is here. So,
Thank you so much, sir.
if you just give us a moment, we'll get started soon.
Thank you so much.
Good evening. I have also joined. I'm here. Probably I'm heard but not visible. I'm not seen.
Harish Shankar sir, you have been joined, sir. So can we start with permission? Sir, we are not able to see you, sir. If you can just make some seat adjustment if possible.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Because, sir, we have approximately around 200 people now live with us, sir. So nice of you, Shankar sir, Harish Shankar sir.
Brilliant, fantastic. Glad to see it.
Glad to say, sir. Harish Shankar sir, let me introduce to the panelists informally. First, we have got Mr. Aditya Bardia. He heads the CII Delhi. We have got Mr. Pradeep Shankar with us. And then I would be the coordinator for this entire 1 hour with you, sir. So this is the how, and we'll start with just give a brief introduction, and then Aditya ji will give the welcome address, Pradeep ji will give the special address, and thereafter I hand over the mic to you, and you can just briefly, you and Farid sir can briefly explain about the bank's policies and other things, and thereafter, sir, we will try to take as many questions as possible from the audience. So this would be this sequence. Now, with your permission, sir, we are already 5:02. So, can we start, Harisankar, sir, with your permission, sir? Sir, you are not audible, sir. Sir, with your permission, can we start? Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. And we welcome you to this town hall on extending a helping hand to the MSME. We are extremely grateful to Mr. S. Harisankar, MD and CEO, Mr. Farid Ahmed ED, and entire staff of Punjab and Sindh Bank in organizing this. This goes on to show how Punjab and Sindh Bank is standing and backing each and every MSME of the country in these difficult times. Government, bankers have realized the problems and the issues faced by the MSMEs of the country, and they have come out with various schemes, policies to help and strengthen the MSMEs. Today, we will discuss and try to see on each and every various packages which has been announced by the government and the bankers there. To start with, I would like to invite Mr. Aditya Bardia, Chairman CII Delhi, to give the welcome address. Welcome, Aditya ji.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. My deep gratitude to Punjab and the Sindh Bank, particularly the MD and CEO, Shri Hari Shankar ji, as well as Executive Director, Shri Farid Ahmed ji, and of course to our honored guests, Shri Pradeep Shankar ji, and of course, thank you for putting this together. As always, Jyoti ji, who has taken the lead on so many of our MSME webinars and issues. As you all know, COVID-19 pandemic issues continue. We have moved from the various lockdowns to now unlockdown or unlock 1.0. But it's very clear that this situation will continue to go forward. We are seeing cases rising in Delhi. We are seeing cases rising in Maharashtra. And that's a
Sir, you are not audible now, Aditya ji.
We have seen different policies at the state level and at the central level which have come out. And these have been there to give a big boost. The government, in its enlightened manner, has always put the SME and MSME industry first. In the last 2 months, it's the MSME industry who has taken the brunt of COVID-19. There was for 45 days where the government asked the MSME leaders to really help the country by paying all salaries, full salaries without any cut, continuously, even when there was no revenue, when there was no demand. And the MSME industry stepped up to this. It showed leadership all across the country and really helped India get through the initial lockdown. And this has not been true for other countries. other countries which have seen immediately during their lockdowns a collapse of employment, millions of people being laid off, and a complete destruction of their economy and their internal society. And we are seeing the impacts of that slowly moving on. MSMEs of India have always been the most patriotic elements of the country, providing not only wealth creation and jobs, but also acting as critical infrastructure as well as social infrastructure in the communities in which they operate. I think everybody here will agree with me when I say that MSMEs are more than just corporate enterprises trying to do business, but they are an integral part in their local communities, and the leaders of MSMEs have always been a guiding light for change and for adaptation. However, there is a recognition that due to the current economic crisis that has been created by the pandemic, we are facing an unprecedented amount of stress in MSMEs. And to some extent, this existed before COVID-19. I think now what might have happened a year or two down the line has happened early. The government has announced a wide variety of packages, and in that it has designated banks as taking the lead in helping and in aiding MSMEs is move along for the next 6 months so that things can slowly get back to normal. I am very delighted. Certain banks have taken great leadership on this. They have taken our prime ministers, our finance ministers' word to heart, and they are truly acting as enlightened champions to ensure that MSMEs can not just get through the storm, but emerge stronger. I am very delighted that banks, especially today, Punjab and Sindh Bank, have been open and transparent and are showing authentic leadership by coming with us all to answer everybody's questions, to explain all the various packages, and as well as help MSMEs truly thrive and prosper. Sirs, thank you so much. I have seen so many bankers right now hiding rather than coming out in public and saying we are there for you. And this huge town hall gesture inspires great confidence for all our members. And with that, I give it to you, Jyotiji.
Fantastic.
Continue.
Absolutely well said. Absolutely well said, Aditya ji. That I've seen that in this pandemic, and everybody, sir, we have been speaking to all these senior bankers and what is their response. So we are absolutely grateful to Punjab and Sindh Bank and the top management who has taken all the courage to come before the audience and then answer them everything, sir. This absolutely shows the resilience and absolutely shows the grit that the bank brings onto the here. Now I would like to invite Mr. Pradeep Sankarji, ex-MD State Bank Group, and also for his special address. Welcome, Pradeep ji, for your special address. Welcome, Pradeep Sankar, sir. Sir, you have to unmute yourself, Pradeep, sir.
Is it okay now?
Yes, it's okay now. Now you can continue. Yes, Pradeep Sankar.
Good evening, everybody. I am especially Hari Shankar ji and Farid Ahmed ji, Mr. Barlia. I am not a speaker today. As a matter of fact, I was requested by Jyoti ji to be on the panel. I don't think I am fit enough to be on the panel where we have such august presence as the Managing Director of Punjab and Sindh Bank and the Executive Director of Punjab and Sindh Bank. I only can add a few lines if you permit. Basically, our today's topic is to extend a helping hand to the MSME sector. We know very well that the public sector banks are in the forefront of giving a helping hand to the MSME sector for a long time. I remember the days when I used to be in the banking industry and how we were given special targets to meet the requirement of the small and medium enterprise so that they come out of the difficulties that they face. You know, there are several difficulties which an MSME sector faces, and a lot of them relate to finance. Not only adequate finance, but also the timely finance. If it is a question of too late and too little, then the entire proposition which is being put forth by the MSME sector goes for a toss. In addition to that, there are problems of selection of technology. The technology sometimes is outdated, or the technology is not fit for the production for which the MSE wants to set up the unit. There we have an issue there, that how to guide them, how to train them, how to suggest what sort of technology is suitable for a particular type of industry. And there are the questions of marketing, the marketing ability. You can produce the goods, you can manufacture the goods, but then how to market the product is also another problem which the MSME faced. For a very long time, this has been a problem with them. So to guide them and to help them out, many banks, they come out openly and they give a helping hand, not only in terms of finance, but also in terms of making suggestions that this is the kind of product which you should market in the market, and this is the particular market we should focus on. But as you know very well, MSME, we have close to 6.31 crore units today, as per the MSME ministry guidelines. Out of that, 99.4% are in the micro sector. There are only 3.31 lakh of MSME which are in the small, and about 5,000 in the medium enterprises. With the revision in the guidelines for the classification of the MSME, which has been recently announced by the Government of India, where they have said that the medium enterprises would also consist of those which have investment in plant and machinery to the extent of 50 crores and a turnover of 250 crores. So my worry is that while the government has announced a very good scheme of extending an emergency line to the MSME sector to the extent of 3 lakh crores, which may be extended to those who are under some kind of stress, who are under, say, SMA 0 or SMA 1 category as on a particular date, and then the 20% of their outstanding could be converted into a term loan, which could be repaid over a period of 5 years. My worry is now with the revised definition, this 3 lakh crore amount is not adequate. It may crowd out the smaller and the micro enterprises from getting the benefit out of the banking sector. That is question number one, sir, how the bank is going to help, how the bank will segregate that the poorer among the poor to come forward and take the benefit of the scheme which has been floated by the Government of India. Another problem with the MSMEs are facing is because of the lockdown, there has been a huge amount of migration of labor from the units to their native places. Most of them have left because there was no to them, despite the government giving assurance that none of the units should cut the salaries. But the fact of the matter is that many of the promoters and the entrepreneurs, they are not in a position to pay salary because of the cash flow problems with them. So many of the workers who have already left, now to restart the unit again, it is a problem to get the labor back into the system, which is again a big issue as far as these small units are concerned. But so far, banks have extended 17,000 crores to this particular under the credit guarantee scheme. My suggestion would be that the bank should come in a big way, because the scheme is open up to 31st of October. Therefore, during this small window which is available to the bank, we would very much request that the bank should come forward and help the poorer among the poor, the smaller among the small, so that they get the benefit of the credit guarantee scheme, which in any case does not impact the banks in a major way, in the sense that because of the government guarantee, there is no capital requirement, plus it is 100% safe. So I just wanted to throw out a small request to the management of Punjab and Sindh Bank, whether they could come forward and help out the smaller among the small and try to help them out in this particular period of the pandemic. With this, I hand over the mic back to Jyoti ji.
Thank you so much, Pradeep sir. You are absolutely with your hands-on experience, and you have explained the pain points of the MSME. Definitely, we'd like to hear more from the top management of the Punjab and Sindh Bank, maybe on the drawing power issue, it is on the downgrading of the credit rating issue, rate of interest reduction is not passed on to the MSME. There are various other issues which definitely we'd like to hear from the top management of the bank. But before I invite the man of the moment, just before that, I'd like to place my deep and our deep sincere appreciation and respect for all the bankers who are the true internal warriors of our country in these difficult times. We are vitally and indebted to all the bankers for their personal and their professional sacrifices that they have done in this crisis time. I couldn't remember that in this last 2.5 months, even a single banker has taken a leave, and what I've been given to understand say that each and every banker has joined offices and they have done their duty with the call of the duty to be as Indians. Harish Sankarji, with the Farid Ahmed sir, to you and through you, the entire staff of Punjab and Sindh Bank, the entire banking community, sir, we would like to place once again our deep, sincere appreciation and our regard to the banking fraternity, so that in these difficult times, we have been standing beside us, sir. Thank you so much for being our bankers, sir. Now let's invite the man of the moment we all have been waiting to hear from. We would like to hear from we would like to hear from him. We would like to discuss with him. We would like to share our concern with him. Sir, you are our mental god at this. You are like a godly figure, the banker at this difficult time. I would now like to request Mr. S. Hari Sankar, sir, MD and CEO of Punjab and Sindh Bank, to give his remark. Well, welcome, sir. The dais is all yours, sir. So you can just unmute yourself, sir, if possible, sir. You have to unmute yourself, Hari Sankar, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. It is echoing. The voice is echoing, sir.
Is it steady now?
No, sir. It's not better. Sorry, sir. I'm disturbing you, but.
That's okay.
Sir, it's echoing right now. Also, it's echoing, sir. I'm sorry. In case if it can be better or otherwise we can go ahead with it, sir.
We'll wait when we manage like it.
I'm sorry, Hari Shankar, sir, for this.
They are managing their resources and their time well. We'll also try.
Sorry, sir. Sir, you can see that, sir, you can also see that we have got approximately around 600 people joining us live in this, and we have more than 1,000 people in the Facebook live. Sir, you can understand the concern of the MSMEs and how much the people would like to hear from you.
I know. Am I good to go now?
Sir, yes, sir, you are good to go now.
Okay, right. Thank you. I mean, Pradeep Shankar sir is there. I can see him. He was my former boss also. He didn't mention that. I don't know whether I was not worthy of that. I would rather, start in a very personal note.
Yes, sir.
I have all of us at our age, we would have completed more than 36 years of our service in the banking industry. I can touching my heart, I can tell you, the time that I have enjoyed the best. There are many best moments, but one of the best moments in my life was when I was appointed as a field officer. That was a designation then. At the time, the portfolio was not MSME, it was SIB, Small Industries and Business.
Okay.
So I started as a field officer in an industrial estate branch. And then another 3 years I spent in the same field as a field officer in different branches. That's the time which was highly rewarding. That was the time when I had a very close look into what is happening in the MSME sector. It's not on this platform that I'm speaking. With all genuine respect, I can tell that, they are really a hard-working lot. So and you said about some adjectives you used. I would rather moderate everything and say that, we here. When I can speak about the banking community, but particularly here, me, Dr. Farid, my colleagues in the bank, people at in the last line, in the front desk, we believe that, we are tools in the hands of God. When a pandemic has attacked the country, we understand that there is a responsibility on the part of the bank to rise up to the occasion and then do what is required of us. And when we do that, I want the message to be heard by my team. And when I'm speaking, I should hear myself that I'm not doing a charity. It is not that, say I'm feeding poor and saying that I'm feeding the poor. No, that's my duty. So when I'm extending something to the MSME at this hour, a banker, including me, is only discharging a part of his duty. So there is nothing great about that. There's only a response that as a tool in the hands of God that we are doing. Having said that, I would be brief. I would like to answer more questions because I think that will make it lively rather than a monologue. And because it's then it slips. The boundaries are very thin between a speech and a discourse. So I don't want to do. I mean, neither. I will come. I will a listener more. This bank has a history of 113 years. This June 24th, we will be celebrating the 113th year of our founding. And this bank was founded on the principles of uplifting the marginalized. I mean, I have worked in several institutions, more banks. Maybe this is my 5th bank. But I have not worked in a bank, except probably State Bank of Travancore, which was my parent bank, where I was baptized into banking. Other than that, this is the bank where I have found that a bank has been founded on the principles of social justice, uplifting the marginalized, uplifting the poor. And that is a charter in the bank. And I really have a worship for the founding fathers. The pictures are here before me. I can see the 3 of them when they have scripted this that way. And that is the core of this bank. Here now, we have got about, we are not a very big bank. We are a small bank. We are a growing and aspiring bank. My population of MSME clients is about 100,000 odd. We have launched all the products proactively, starting with the bank zone, relaxed norms for assessment of working capital by reducing the margin, increasing the receivables period, the debtor cycle, because money is not in the cash flows and the cash cycle has been affected, the money is not flowing well. So the receivables are getting stuck, we know. So we have increased the receivables period, we have reduced the margins, we have changed altered the AC terms. We have taken the whole thing in a liberalized way. So that's point number 1. The other thing which we have done is granting a standby line, which we had even you mentioned about the economy, stretching a little bit even prior to the pandemic coming in. Yes, it was right. We all felt that. At that point of time, we had started a standby line of credit. Who could draw that with certain limited documentation, minimal documentation that was made available. Then we have brought in a product. Dr. Farid will be talking at length about those products, with the enhancement in the working capital limit. The first one I told about what? Relaxing the norms of computing the working capital limits, relaxing the margin norms, enhancing the cycle of debtors and all. The second one is actually granting an enhanced working capital level from their present sanction limits. And the third and fourth one are what the government has brought in. And we have, in order to maintain the sharp TAT, we have moved the entire processing to a centralized processing outfit. The bank being small and nimble-footed, these kind of changes could have, and we could bring about very fast. We have created an outfit, so we utilize that outfit for a faster processing. So that is the way, the structural way, and the financial way, and the working capital relaxed norms that we have prepared ourselves, geared ourselves, and prepared the bank for supporting the MSME. We have educated the field. We told them whatever that I have spoken here, that we are not doing anything extraordinary, anything out of ordinary. We are actually trying to be with the people when they are in need of a banker. Our rural orientation and semi-urban orientation, the core of the bank, the ethos of the bank have been built of our orientation there. I think my folks, my colleagues in the bank, they are well aware of this and they are responding and very fast. Wherever we need to chip in to straighten out things, iron out the wrinkles, we are there. The top management is entirely committed to that. We have daily meetings. not stealing away people's working time, but just to assess their problems and the processes, issues which they are facing in the field, and trying to do our bit of by way of the solution. So this is the way the bank has geared itself up. And I will stop here for the time being, and I will give space and time and for Dr. Farid, who is a dime in the field, and he has himself designed some of these schemes. A lot of his brain inputs is there, a lot of his heart input is there, and it will be worthwhile listening to him.
Absolutely. So welcome Farid Ahmed sir to this. All the best. Thank you, sir, for coming.
Bank has been helping the marginalized people, particularly for the last 3 years. We are focusing on the MSMEs, and in fact, the growth of MSMEs in the last 3 years, credit towards them is substantial. And much before this pandemic, when the Reserve Bank of India has come out with the restructuring special dispensation once again to the MSMEs who are having the arrears as of the 1st Jan 2020, we have taken up the restructuring process, and more than 50% of our eligible accounts were already covered much before this pandemic's impact was there. As far as we are aware that the MSMEs are contributing about 50% of the exports and around 38 to 40% of the GDP. So what is their very important role in economic development and also in providing the employment? In fact, a lakh of rupees of investment in MSME gives a lot of employment as compared to the medium and large industries. Keeping this, we are focusing on the MSMEs for the past few years, but particularly after this pandemic, we have taken immediate steps, and whatever the 10% emergency credit scheme has come, bank has a very flexible scheme, and it has kept the rate of interest also very, very competitive at 8.25% for the MSMEs as compared to the regular rate of interest for MSMEs. And also, while calculating the DP in working capital, we have given flexibility that this 10% of the emergency loan need not be used for creation of the current assets. It may be for paying the wages, electricity bills, rents and all. So the MSMEs may not be able to create the current assets. They may reduce the current liabilities. Even then, sometimes they may not be able to reduce the current liabilities. They have to meet other expenses. So while calculating the DP, we have given the flexibility in that account. As far as the relief measures are concerned, not only has given the margin relaxations, we thought that the pandemic measures were started in the March, but its impact was started much earlier, March month. So the book dates and receivable period, generally in the banking industry, we follow 90 days. We have doubled it to 180 days, so that whatever the relaxations made in the margins, it will be helpful to the MSMEs to enjoy the increased working capital limits. And the third one, the 20% limit for the MSMEs, this is great, guaranteed by the government of India. We in the first day itself, thousands of pre-approved loans were given to the MSMEs who are in need through our Senmark. Because of our centralized hub, we can do thousands of pre-approved loans within 2 days to the MSMEs, and they were intimated directly to the MSMEs to approach the branches and avail the sanctioned RA with the papers which are required, the estimated amount which we have given to them. These are the certain steps we have taken, and Pradeep sir was telling, and Mr. JD also is telling that the micro should be helped out of the total MSMEs. In fact, out of the total advances of the bank, around 15 to 16% is our MSME advances. Out of MSME advances, more than 54% are micro enterprises. Majority are the micro enterprises, and we are focusing on the micro enterprises. The number will be more, their need will be less, but that need is very, very important. In the micro enterprises up to 5 lakhs, we are charging a rate of interest of 7%, and above 5 lakhs, irrespective of amount, we are charging 7.5% in respect of the 20% credit guarantee scheme recently introduced, under which, as per the scheme norms, we will give up to 5 crores for the people who are having an outstanding balance of 25 crores from the banking industry. And the norms are very flexible. Well, the MPPF calculation is very flexible. It is hassle-free scheme, and we want to dispose the by taking least number of TAT. This way we are focusing. Even this recent modification of definition of MSMEs, it is a subject to discussion or interpretation. In one way, I feel that by bringing the turnover into definition, the micro enterprises or the small enterprises will be benefited, even though the plant and machinery investment has been increased. Sometimes the plant and machinery investment was less earlier, but turnover was very high, but they were getting the benefits of the MSMEs. Actual micro enterprises and MSMEs are not getting the benefit. So it is subject to discussion, and it is ultimately how it will evolve in the coming days. We have to see the definition based on the June criteria. Coming days we have to discuss. Then most important is the credit rating, obtaining of the credit rating in case of fresh loans for this under COVID relief. We are not going for the new credit rating at all. Whatever the credit rating was there earlier, the same credit rating has been being applied to decide their eligibility, or in fact for eligibility there is no credit rating as far as this relief loans are concerned. But rate of interest also in these particular scheme, they are fixed irrespective of the credit rating, irrespective of the loan amount, except for first quantum of 5 lakhs we are charging about 7%, others 7.5%, and in regular MSME loans also, in the past year or 10 months, we tried to pass on the repo rate to our customers.
Thank you so much, sir. I suppose that there are a lot of questions on that. If we can just little bit on the scheme part of it, ED sir, can we take some question if you allow us to take some questions from the audience and other things?
We can, please.
Sir, now also the voice is echoing, sir. I've got a lot of complaints, sir. If your IT team can just clear it out, I suppose there are, मेरे ख्याल से वहाँ पे एक या दो mic और भी open होगी, sir. You have to make only one mic open there. एक ही mic open रखिए, नहीं तो दूसरे mic से आवाज echo हो जाती है, sir.
Now how is it?
Sir, little better, but लेकिन फरीद अहमद जी की आवाज echo हो रही थी, sir.
One second. They're trying to do something here.
Sir, there is something. I can just give you some of the questions that we are getting, sir. Although whatever the schemes that the government and the bankers has framed, it is for the existing borrower or any of the client which has got an existing limit right now. But sir, there might be some client which have not taken a loan. There are maximum of the good MSME which they didn't require the loan at an earlier stage, sir. Now after this epidemic or this COVID, sir, now they require the loan. So what about the new borrowers, because the banks and the branches are not entertaining the new borrowers at this stage, and it is only for the existing borrower only the entire banking is seem to be working towards it. This is because there are a lot of people who are saying that we didn't have the limit earlier, so how we can get the limit right now. So this is the one of the questions which is there, sir. The another is on the rate of interest reduction. They are saying that the Reserve Bank of India, whatever the repo rate reduction that has come in, and the existing loan, the rate of interest reduction has not passed on because of this MCLR thing, and also there is a date of reset which is being mentioned. So can there be anything be done for those date of reset, and can there be an exemption given, one-time exemption to all the MSME borrower that the date of reduction given, sir? Hello, sir. Am I audible to you? Harisankar sir. Harisankar sir, am I audible? सर आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है सर. योर वॉइस सर, आप लोगों की आवाज नहीं आ रही है. Sir, we are not able to hear you, sir. No, sir, sorry. Participant, just give us some time, 1 or 2 minutes. We'll just try to resolve the issue, sir. Please give us some time.
Are we audible now?
Sir, yes, sir. Now you are audible, sir.
Okay.
Sir, मैंने सिर्फ 2 क्वेश्चन आपको अभी तक.
We heard your question. We'll answer.
So we can take one by one whatever the questions are coming. So one is about the new borrower, another is about the rate of interest reduction. That is the MSME borrowers are not cutting it. So these are the 2 things that you can take it up. Sir, there are several more. Sir, can I give you 4 or 5 questions at one go, or how do you like to? Sir,
Yeah.
another is sir, the limit whatever the bank is giving, it is based on the 29th February outstanding limit. It is not based on the sanction limit, sir. Sir, it is on a particular date, sir. I may not have so much of outstanding on that particular date. So can the bank consider my 20% enhancement based on my sanction limit and not on my outstanding limit? Sir, I just give you an example. मेरी यदि 10 करोड़ की लिमिट है मेरे पास में, मेरी यदि आउटस्टैंडिंग यदि मेरा उस दिन यदि पर्टिकुलर डेट में यदि 1 करोड़ है या 2 करोड़ की आउटस्टैंडिंग है, तो बैंक is only considering the enhancement only on the outstanding part. So I suppose this will entire disturb my working capital cycle, sir. Because on that particular date it cannot be done. So this is one of the thing that also the question is there. The second, people are saying ki, sir, there is the non-fund based limit is not being taken into account. There is a sanction, there is again an outstanding limit of non-fund based limit. Sir, when my working capital cycle was assessed, the entire working capital cycle, my limit, it was divided into fund based and non-fund based. Now only the fund based is taken into account. So sir, आप मुझे आधा खाना दे रहे हैं, आधा खाना नहीं दे रहे हैं, sir. So the company will strive out of that, sir. So, sir, then there are post-sanction compliances also, sir, because there are some borrowers which are in the red zone, which are in the containment zone, sir. So they just cannot go and sign the documents. So what about the signing? How can we take into account that the post-sanction formalities, the signing of the documents, these are the things can be taken care. I suppose, sir, we can come back to the question again. And we can take this
We'll start
out.
answering.
As far as the new borrowers, yes, the institutional finance being enjoyed by the MSMEs are a very few percentage of the total MSMEs in India.
Correct, sir.
Their demand and their requirement and the need is very genuine. So the new borrowers may not be eligible under these schemes introduced by the government of India, because most of these schemes, they are linked to the outstanding balance or existing customers. So they can approach the banks and they can avail MSME loans, because even without collateral, there is a CGTMSE scheme up to 2 crores loans. Then they can approach the bank. That too, up to 2 crores loans, they are subject to MPBF calculation is Nayak committee, that is turnover method only. So it will be very hassle free. So they can approach all our branches. Then coming to the limit of sanction, taking the out as 20% or 25%, whatever may be, of the outstanding balances on the 29th February. The credit guarantee scheme is designed in such a way. There is definitely a logic or behind the demand that sanction limit should be taken into consideration. They may not come under that particular scheme, but if they are in need, there is a 10% COVID relief scheme is there. They can avail under that scheme. And also they can avail in a regular scheme as a ad hoc. But as far as the ad hoc is concerned, they have to do certain estimate what level of business they are going to do in the coming days, approximately. But they can avail 10% of COVID scheme, and they can also avail a standby line of credit. That also put together, it will be around 25 plus 10, 35% of their limits being enjoyed by the farmers. That is equivalent to their working capital of more than 3 months. Even if we keep this scheme aside, irrespective of this scheme, they are having the opportunity to avail. In these schemes, banks are being guaranteed by the government. The rate of interest will be 1% less than the other schemes. But as far as the funds are concerned, they can approach the banks for other 2 schemes. And I believe personally, for a MSME micro enterprises, not the 1% rate of interest they feel, what they feel is the timely credit. Need of the hour is the timely credit. So they can avail in other schemes also.
On the interest on EBLR interest the transmission happens. There is a time lag. Only the time lag is, see, the RBI circular says, there is a window within which it has to be done. Within that window, it gets transmitted. The transmission issue was a problem when the MCLR regime was there, but in now MSME and the structure is completely under an EBLR. So transmission is not an issue. But even in the MCLR regime, we had tried to pass on as much as possible. And, see, up to 75 basis points transmission has already happened. Further transmission with the current MCLR, when we declare, there will be more further transmission possible, which have already seen the computation. We'll be announcing the MCLR reduction or the changes maybe in a couple of days. So that is happening. So now either EBLR regime, who is under the EBLR regime, they don't have to worry. It happened faster, and it is almost a parallel in a kind of a shift.
Thank you, sir. One thing, sir, in this 20% extra loan scheme, sir, banks are and the branches are asking for me the 3-year projections to justify or whatever that is there for the 20% limit, sir. So is this justified, or the branch is asking from themselves, or there is an instruction that they have to ask for this 3-year projections to give this 20% limit, sir?
See, the projection is not, we are not asking anybody to get a chartered accountant's computation for that kind of thing. It's only a kind of an estimate. If I'm running a business, I should only go and say that, this is the kind of growth I'm going to have. So that is the number that we are asking, and we are not using any kind of a jargonized approach there. We are not asking them to prepare it by a chartered accountant or such a firm, nothing. So that we've given clear-cut instructions that, this is an estimate and signed and given by the business concerned.
That too only the total turnover. As far as our bank is concerned, we are insisting for the total sales projection.
सर लेकिन उसके अंदर में सर there is some MSME which also have a limit from some PSU bank, from cooperative bank also, sir. So cooperative banks are not giving this scheme, or they are not covered under this scheme. There is something like that which is there. So sir, यदि उसके अंदर में भी हमें वही दिक्कत आएगी, we'll face the same issue, sir. Can the PSU bank can give this sanction the entire 20% of my entire working capital loan in case if my partial limit is being sanctioned by a cooperative bank also?
As far the scheme is concerned, it is 20% of the total outstanding from the banking industry.
Correct, sir.
When cooperative bank is not giving, definitely Punjab and Sindh Bank will give, subject to obtention of NOC from the cooperative.
Fantastic, sir. So that is a good news. So all the people who are attending it, we can try and see that this is the response that we can definitely go and speak about it. We can speak about that, sir. So one is on the, sir, post-sanction compliances, sir. We are again getting, sir, how can it be done, sir, post-sanction compliances, sir, मेरे को पैसा अभी मिल जाए, compliances and the signature, because it is being given to the existing account holder only. So how because there are some difficulty that borrower cannot go and sign the document at this point of time, sir.
See, I'll give you a very practical approach.
Yes,
when I'm opening my business, I open it on in situ. I'm in the site. I'm at the site. Okay. So it's a question of only the signature signing the doc. And this I'm telling you before that the documentation has been made very simple. It is not the kind of a very mega and a very large scale documentation. We have designed a very simple application, very simple appraisal, very simple documentation process, and that is available with the branches. But see, if anybody who is opening and is running in a business, it's either a question of coming to the bank and just to on a prefix date, if they come and then sign the documents, it's available there. And on you raised in a question in the red zone or the completely where the lockdown is still in vogue, we will have to have a design a site-based intervention there. If the funds have to be availed, and if there's a way of getting a documentation done at the premises of the even wherever the person is residing, we'll expose such this thing. But sitting here giving a blind mandate will be incorrect. But if anybody has a genuine inconvenience based on that, there is enough and a bandwidth available in the bank. The zonal managers have been asked to make local interventions and then make it happen the way in a very smooth manner. So documentation per se may not hold up against any sanctioning or even exceeding the limit.
Sir, this branch managers are also asking, sir, do you have to give the charge against this extra limit? So they are asking for second charge or something like that. But sir, this money, which is the extra money which is coming, it is going under the expenditure of my salary or my electricity payment or my rent payment. So there is no extra asset which is getting created out of this this extra money. So, so you have the existing charge on my current assets, sir. So for the existing limit, there is no other asset which is being created. So how can we create the charge on the asset? Because there is no asset which is being created out of the extra loan which the bank is being giving to us, sir. So this charge issue need to be resolved, sir.
If it is purely unsecured, what you said is correct.
सर बिकॉज सर मैं 20% जो एक्स्ट्रा पैसा ले रहा हूं सर मैं आपसे वो मेरे खर्चे में जा रहा है सर आई एम नॉट ट्राइंग टू बिकॉज आई एम हियर टू पे माय सैलरीज एट दिस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम so it is going on. If you ask from an entrepreneur perspective, all the money which I am getting, it is getting into the expenditure parlance, sir. There is no such assets, sir. There is no maybe sale या कोई ज्यादा current asset या stock मैं उससे नहीं create कर पा रहा हूँ सर. I'm not able to create that. And the another problem which we are facing, it is the drawing power issue, sir. Bank manager are asking कि आपको 20% limit के लिए आप हमको limit हमको whether if they are reducing the drawing power from 25% से यदि 15%, if they are reducing or they are giving us 10% also, then also in maximum of the cases, sir, we are facing the drawing power issue also. So drawing power is also coming in some cases negative because the raw material prices has also fluctuated, and as per the audited balance sheet, the raw material prices is taken as cost or the market value, whichever is lower. So there are 2-3 issues combined, sir. एक तो मेरे पास में कोई asset create नहीं हुआ एक्स्ट्रा पैसे से, एक मेरे पास में drawing power का issue है सर. Sorry sir, hand over.
I will try to answer your question in 2-3 parts.
Yes sir, thank you sir. Yes.
The first one, drawing power when margin has been reduced by 10%, 25 to 15%. 10% reduction will take care of that your price fluctuations or whatever way. Not only it takes care of the price fluctuations, it also accommodates the enhanced limit size if a revised MPBF is given without taking into consideration this is COVID schemes. As far as the COVID schemes are concerned, the end use is either for a unsecured purpose or secured purpose. Wherever it is an unsecured purpose, the question of charge does not arise. But even an unsecured purpose, the question may arise in where suppose a party is holding a stock of 200%, he is availing only 100% limits or something, excess stock is there. Earlier, he has said that stock valued so much. Now, the stock excess रहने से, as per the balance sheet or stock statement, some banks or some branches, I am not telling the Punjab Singh Bank or other bank, they may be insisting. But wherever charge is required also, wherever continuing security has to be taken also, other than 20% credit guarantee scheme of the government of India, the 3 months period has been given to create any such compliances, anything. Only a minimum documentation of an application, an agreement or a promissory note, and one more paper. This is the only thing, immediate requirement. Other than that, any compliance is there, it can be done for a period of 3 months. Even a company charge creation without security also, even some other charge creation has to be done, or extension of the security. These are all not required immediately. They can take 3 months time. And
Sir, again, banker saying कि sir this 20% extra limit, some banks are sanctioning 15%, कोई 10% दे रहा. They saying there is a word up to 20%. But our version as a CII or our industrial association version is, sir, since the bankers are getting the guarantee of the 20%, what is stopping the banker to give me the entire 20% limit? Why the bankers are considering kisi ko, they are not considering the entire 20% limit is also not being given to us in case to.
Shall we put the question like this? See, any entrepreneur will be interested to make a need-based availment. Need-based availment can be from 10%, 15% up to 20%. So the limit also will be extended on the need-based availment basis up to 20%. So when we both think on those lines, see, I think then we are on the same page. So I say there is actually we should not insist that there is a maximum, there is an up to 20% guarantee available. So let the funding be up to 20% ad libitum. No. Funding, in any case, if I am myself an entrepreneur, I will avail to the extent that I require, because I know that I know personally entrepreneurs who have refused to say that I don't require this, and I'm going by a lower limit because that's I need to pay interest, whatever maybe a lower percentage also I need to pay interest, so I don't want to carry a burden of interest. I am ready for that. So now I think the approach with which both sides can come together is that see, need-based has to be given, need-based only will be asked. Then I think the problem is resolved, right?
And another example I will give you. Now the small enterprises definition is investment up to 10 crores. Somebody invested 8 crores and availed 1 crore of working capital limit.
Yes, sir.
Now 20% he is getting 1.8 crores. More than the entire working capital cycle. Whether he is in need of 20%, no. It will not be need based. So this money, it is being given though with the guarantee, it has to be serviced by ultimately the small enterprise. It is not a free subsidy amount, it is a loan amount. After 1 year, he has to earn and service. That's why it is a need based. But in case of small micro enterprises where the loan amount is 10 lakhs or 1 crore, 20% automatically he will be in need. But all will not be in need. So it should be need based.
Sir, again the question, there are some question which has come in ki sir on the non-fund based limits, sir, non-fund based limit mein hum 20% nahi mil raha hai sir, so how to consider those cases, sir?
That's also
it is outside scheme is one thing. They can approach to the branches and bank case by case. Whatever fund based we are giving, ultimately the fund based or non-fund based is to meet the working capital. So they can request the branches in case by case, depending upon the nature of the business, to give a interconvertibility facility from fund based to non-fund based. If their business is purely based upon the non-fund based purchase of the raw material.
Sir, there is one more scheme, sir, which the government of India has recently announced for the bank guarantee, sir. They are saying that all the contractors, I will just explain you then, and then I will come back to the scheme, sir, for all the members which are being present here. The government of India has come up with a bank guarantee, sir, on the completion of project method. Sir, पहले तो क्या होता था कि यदि मैंने 100 रुपए की बैंक गारंटी जमा करी है, at the end of the completion of the project only my entire bank guarantee would have released. So my entire bank guarantee of 100 rupees was stuck up till the life time, till the time my project is completed. Now what has happened कि government of India has allowed कि यदि मेरा 50% project complete हो चुका है, if my project is completed up to 50%, then I can release my 50% bank guarantee. Now what is happening, the new government is saying, the NHAI or the other government institution are saying, आपको जो 100 रुपए की बैंक गारंटी रिलीज करानी है, उसकी जगह आपको मुझे 40 रुपए की बैंक गारंटी देनी है. They are asking कि sir, you first furnish me the 40 rupees new bank guarantee, then only I will release this 100 rupees bank guarantee. Now I don't have an extra limit of 40 rupees which is there with me. So I have stuck up in कि sir, since I don't have an extra limit of 40 rupees, all the government agencies are saying I will not release the entire 100 rupees because there is no breakup in the bank guarantee limit which is being available. So I have to furnish him a new bank guarantee, then only my old bank guarantee is getting released. And sir, I don't have can you make some special scheme or some dispensation or for something, sir? It is a something like that, if that can be if that can be taken care, sir. Yes, sir.
See, basically, the scheme would have taken care, or otherwise it will soon take care of the necessary amendments in the Contract Act also. And see, a guarantee instrument already placed before a beneficiary, if it doesn't have these kind of clauses, see, what you are ultimately asking is a staged
bank guarantee release, sir. Yes,
certain guarantees are there, but they are not in the small scale sector. Say, for example, if you have got a kind of a payment guarantee, you need to give a counter guarantee for a payment, and it will happen in mega industries like shipping and all. There will be stage completion, then the guarantee would not be required. So for the next stage completion, the part of the guarantee will be issued. So guarantees will be structured that way. But now, normally in our operating environment, the clients which we are with whom we are having this interaction, they may not be having such a clauses built into the bank guarantee. So there is ultimately the beneficiary has to agree. If the beneficiary agrees, then we can place an interim kind of a structured guarantee amount in view of the guarantee in place and with a mutual acceptance. That's why I said, the Act amendment also may be required to substitute an existing guarantee without invoking the guarantee and with these kind of clauses. If that is there, probably there are ways and means of addressing that. At the moment, the limitation is that, the limitation not by way of the law of limitation, the limitation, physical limitation is that we do not have stage process built into the guarantee instrument, and
yes,
stage by surrender is not possible. So maybe we need to enact something to facilitate this guarantee being amended to that extent, covering the entire guarantee retrospectively, and then make appropriate reductions possible. So without enjoining that the present product with the law, then there will be operating issues.
Absolutely well said, sir. Absolutely, sir. You are bang on, sir. You have understood the issue, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for understanding. Because what was happening, sir, वो government agency ये बोल रही है कि sir जब तक हमको because हमको 100 rupees की bank guarantee, they have to release the entire document, and so they are not releasing the entire document till the time I furnish him the new balance guarantee requirement. So this is where the issue is, sir. So this is what we are asking for an answer, sir.
The beneficiary has to agree, even without changing or amending also. The beneficiary's bank guarantee is there for 5 years for 100%. Now a stage has come, he can release 60%.
Yes, sir.
A modification can bring, or he can request the bank, I am sending this bank guarantee, subject to submission of 40% of the bank guarantee. Otherwise, this bank guarantee holds good. That way also the beneficiary can request the banker, not to the customer. So it is the banker, if gives 40% with the consent of the customer, the beneficiary can accept it. He is not losing the original bank guarantee when he is referring to the banker.
Yeah, in other words, he is agreeing that his invocation and rights will be limited. So that yeah, if somebody is magnanimous enough to do that, fine.
I'm not trying to say or compete with anything, but sir, we all understand how the government machinery functions in that, sir. They are not going to release the bank guarantee to us till the time they get, sir. So one is the issue that the people are saying, sir, said that there is no loan tracking mechanism, sir, that whether the 20% loan, although Farid sir was good enough, and we have been saying that there is some automatic approval that we have received, but there are some application which we have been also submitting. So, sir, what is happening to my application or something, sir? Can there be some sort of a mechanism which I can say, sitting at my home, I can get to know where my proposal is, or how much time will it come, sir? This has been talking for long, sir, but now in this time, at least, sir, my planning and everything, because this is one day is very, very critical for us at this point of time. How can this be?
I'll be very, very upfront with you, because we, at the moment, and if you ask a purely technology-driven solution, we are doing a phase of transformation. IT transformation is happening, and once it reaches a level of maturity, this is happening. But if you ask me whether today, tomorrow, or the day after, I will be able to offer it, the bank's technological position at the moment doesn't this thing. But you have given a really good food for thought to us. Okay. In fact, this was discussed in some forum. We are working on some kind of a parallel mechanism. But we'll take it as a feedback from our listeners here, and which they have voiced through you. We'll write it down, and we'll try to give some kind of a workaround where one person need not be unnecessarily anxious about the fate of his application, not the fate of sanction, because people know that it will be done, but the time factor. So we will try to address that. But I'm sorry that at the moment we are not able to tell you, yes, you can do this. The bank is there, but this is where our space is not covered by that kind of a technological upgrade.
Sir, so there are some sector-specific issue which is coming, sir. One is on the real estate, which are the small real estate players, small hotel owners, sir. So you can understand what the question will be there, sir. So I leave the answer to, I leave the question. No, sir. See, they are saying that the branch manager is not even trying to consider for those real estate and for those hotel owners proposal also. They are not even accepting that, sir.
Okay, if it's a complaint pertaining to Punjab and Sindh Bank, we will certainly try to address that. Okay, but a community at large, we may not be able to, and the respective banks management will be taking care of that. But such issues will be, I don't think they will be soaring the entire in a pitch. We will certainly try to make case-specific interventions. In fact, I tell you, we have a handle, we have a nodal officer who is listening to these kind of even from the remotest part. A mail has come, or even somebody tries to speak, we are listening. Even at the central office level, we have constituted a complaint redressal mechanism, because we know such issues might come. Because when there is a lot of crowd there to board the bus, actually some kind of the hustle bustle is possible, but we will try to minimize that. There will be somebody listening, somebody responding. That much we can assure.
Sir, there is one MSME which supposedly maybe your client, sir. He has got 2 manufacturing unit, and combined both the units, uski limit 28 crore ho gayi hai with the combining of both the manufacturing unit combined. But while appraisal, and every time the bank asks for this separate, the unit wise CMA, separate everything. But sir, as a company, the combined limit has exceeded 28. It has exceeded that limit. So, how can this be assessed, sir? Whether because I've got 2 SME, because I've got 2 manufacturing facility, combined my limit has exceeded. But if you look at my unit-wise exposure, sir, it has not exceeded. So
they are having the same registration, same GST, everything, right?
Sir, that is, sir, because the company is the same.
Yeah, I mean, so you understand the structural issues there, right?
Structural issues are there.
But
sir.
I think it's not that we will completely forsake such a request. But I think it's case specific. Request the client to contact I don't know which zone and all. But that he can.
10% they are eligible.
10% is eligible.
10% they are eligible, but not in that 20%.
I took it as an assumed thing. I was thinking that probably your question is arising from something more than that. Is it so?
No, sir. On that, sir, 20% scheme only, sir. 20% की जो नई scheme आई है उसी के अंदर नहीं मिल रहा है, sir.
Under 20% schemes,
sir, it is not being applicable, sir.
10% under 10% scheme we can give, or over and above, case by case we can give.
So the case by, if it's a particular issue, then request our customer, our esteemed customer to contact the branch manager, or you can share the credentials separately. We will try to see what is exactly ailing. Maybe when somebody else, a second pair of eyes sees it, we probably will have a way out also. We don't. I'm not assuring that, but we will certainly look.
I think Raunak, you might have got your answer, so you can connect your branch manager and try and see this question answered. Now, sir, there is a question from Sanil. Can the 20% extra loan be used to repay the existing working capital loan partially, since the extra 20% is credit guaranteed and it comes at a lower rate of interest than the existing loan? So can we use that, sir? Is that, or is there any government as a directive which prevent from using it?
No. See, it is a practically he has to do. It is the loan meant for meeting his immediate need. It is not to reduce the cost of the credit. But a borrower, ultimately this goes to credit the working capital account, running account. He can use, whenever he is not using, automatically the balance will be reduced and he is saving the interest. For a period of time, he can get reduced the limit. In fact, these term loans, whether 10% COVID or 20% the special scheme, not only helping them in converting the working capital running limit into a working capital term loan, in a long run from the next year onwards, it is improving the strength of the balance sheet to avail a regular working capital loans, running accounts, because it will improve the current ratio of the companies. Because a working capital term loan is being created to meet the current liabilities. By virtue of it, the current ratios will be improved and it will be eligible for a higher amounts in the coming years, depending upon the turnover. If he does not want to avail much, his limit outstanding will come down automatically. He need not take permission from any bank to close the working capital limits. Automatically, he can reduce the running accounts.
Sir, thank you, sir. I suppose, sir, we are running out of time, Harisankar, sir, and we have got near about 80 questions with us right now. So how much possible, sir? Sir, can the new MSME definition be applicable to avail this 20% new loan scheme, sir? If its turnover is more than 100 crore, is this new MSME definition, can we take that, sir?
No, that is effective prospectively, right?
So how to do it means, sir, for this 20% limit, you mean to say the old definition of MSME is only applicable, or can we do with the new MSME definition also, sir?
Just a second, let us look at it.
No problem, sir.
First July.
That is from 1st July. Definition is applicable operative from 1st July 2020.
Yes, sir. So, लेकिन since ये तो हमको अक्टूबर तक का लोन मिलना है, sir, तो your bank is eligible to give the loan to me up to October, sir. So this scheme is applicable from 1st of July.
Clarification. Subject to receiving the clarification. Now we may not be able to tell.
Okay, sir.
It may come. Because as you said, it can be availed up to October. That clarification may come favorably to the MSMEs with the new definition.
Sir, there is one more question, sir. They are saying that they have taken a term loan sanction, but the disbursement didn't happen. So again, the outstanding limit versus the sanction limit, same issue, sir. Because term loan liya hua tha, sir. So they are saying ki if you are not funding with the non-fund based limit, term loan, sir, it will come there. So can that be considered as a special request?
Under the scheme, it's a very clear question and answer. Under the scheme, it is not. See, if as a customer, if he needs a working capital limit to be sanctioned or something, and this say that is a case-to-case basis, we can look at that. But under the scheme, it is not possible.
Sir, just a second, sir. Sir, is there any government directives or how this under the scheme for this sanction limit versus, because people are absolutely, sir, we are getting remarks by remarks on that, sir. They are asking, sir, can banks themselves look at it? Because, sir, this sanction versus this thing, sir, can they submit the proposal, or what they can be done? Because
outstanding.
It is basically word is outstanding, sir. So we understand the word is outstanding, but I suppose, sir, it has to be taken care into that parlance that way, sir. So this has to be
That
taken.
scheme we may not do.
Say under that scheme, there will be an issue, sir. So there are 2-3 issues on the NPA side. People are saying, sir, there are 2 types of the MSME unit. One unit which is giving 100% collateral, which has given 100% collateral to a bank, and there is another unit which may not have given the 100% collateral, or they may be unsecured funding. But both the units started on the same time, doing the same amount of business and doing the same business. But in this epidemic, what has happened, both the unit has faced the delinquencies, or the account has become little bit under stress. Don't you think that the bankers should be little sympathetic, or there should be different rules and regulations should apply for the unit which has given 100% collateral vis-a-vis the unit which has not given the 100% collateral? Because the attitude of the branch manager is sir, it is the same for both the units, sir. So माने आपको क्या लगता है कि सर एक आदमी ने जिसने अपना घर ऑफिस सब कुछ गिरवी रखा है बैंक को, vis-a-vis one person which has not given any sort of thing. So how do you think that this norms or anything, sir? But
shall I shift the focus to something else? Then I think probably the perspective will be clear. See, the question is, say, fine, what's the cost of delinquency? The cost is a very empathetical one, which I understand, you understand, he understands, and everybody understands. Then I think a normal banker will be empathetic only. And this thing, it is actually the collateral part is not the one that is going to govern. If say even without collateral, somebody was trying to do very much because he didn't offer collateral, he didn't have collateral, so he offered whatever he could. That may not be 100%. It is only say a little bit of 20, 25, 10, whatever that is. The bank has sanctioned it. He was doing very well, and he was earning, and something hit him, and he couldn't pay. Actually, normal thinking will be this thing. So I say, rather than fixing on whether the recovery in a part is sound or otherwise, the empathetic in a part which we have raised in your question, that should be looked at by the cause of the delinquency. If the cause is we can have an perception of the cost, then I think we will be more empathetic with that situation.
Absolutely agreed, sir. Again, it is on the LAP issue, sir. Loan against property. Banks generally considered residential and commercial property as taken as a loan. But, sir, industrial properties are not being considered for taking the LAP loan or anything, sir. Industrial properties are not being considered for taking the LAP loan against property. Sir, at this epidemic, when this issue of my assessment of the limit or other things, that is an issue because my financials may not justify that everything, sir. So LAP is certainly, can that my industrial land LAP can be considered, so that because in a bank there is a scheme, in your bank also, which people are saying that in maximum of the bank they have a scheme, sir, if there is a 200% collateral given, so up to 5 crore or up to 2 crore, the LAP loan scheme is being easily, it is given easily that way. So industrial properties, they are asking to be considered under the LAP loan. That the question is very, very simple that way. Can the industrial property be considered, or you can look into it, sir?
Ultimately, the LAP loans are being given based upon the servicing ability. Servicing ability depends upon the income. First of all, accepting the nature of property is one aspect. In this pandemic, separately LAP, giving a loan for a LAP is very difficult because he cannot prove his income availability or repaying capacity to service that loan. Because wherever the LAP loans were given, the basis of sanction is repaying capacity. So how to assess the repaying capacity?
Correct. So just to benefit of all the members, they are asking whether this recording of this video will be available. Sir, we can assure you, sir, we are on Facebook Live. The recording of this session will be available to you all. You can connect with the bank officers. You can connect with Resurgent India. You can connect with the CII office. All the recordings of this webinar will be available to all the people at large. Since I'm getting a lot of questions on that, so I'm trying to address this issue, sir. Sir, can we get one nodal officer name and number which all the issues that we are getting? So there can I get one coordinating person name and number from your office, in case if all the members, whatever the issue that they are raising, sir, we can just pass it on to them. I will go to your office and I will get.
We will send you. We will send you.
So that would be great, sir. If you can just send us one nodal officer name and number that we can take into account, because sir, the questions are unending, sir. It is already 6:15, sir. I have extended your time, sir. Can Mudra term loan account, will I get this benefit? Is, I suppose it is on the whether the small Mudra loan account are also say, covered under this scheme, sir?
Yes,
Yes.
it is MSME, micro enterprise.
So that is also covered under this account, sir. Sir, another thing is that although this this webinar is for the MSME unit and other things, sir, because the people saying that any other than this 20% loan and other than this, the branch manager, they are so busy to doing that. So there is no new proposal which is getting accepted, and other than this 20% COVID loan and 20% this extra loan, sir, all the other borrowers are also facing that difficulty. Maybe, sir, we have the full sympathy towards the bank and the manager and the people working there. We can understand, sir, they are overburdened with the work at this point of time. But, sir, no other proposals are being entertained by the people at the branch level, sir. So if you can just kindly see that
That's a feedback. We'll take it as
that's a
feedback.
feedback, sir, which is there. So at the because sir, apart from this, sir, we can understand that this has not been taken into account that way. And sir, people are saying that for this small NPA thing or for this SMA 1-2, there is some limit which is being given to us. Sir, if the account has become turned NPA in the month of January or in the month of February itself, and maybe not because of COVID or anything, so how can this be? Some issue of this NPA can be taken care by the bank.
I think that we will not be able to, because it's far outside.
Let us wait for the guidelines of the subordinated that.
Sir, people are just asked, sir, please, sir, people are just asking me, so I'm just putting it to you that they wanted to hear it from you that that this cannot be done or not. So what I will do, sir, sir, there are approximately around so many questions left unanswered. I will ask the nodal officer to give that, and they can answer, and which we can circulate to all the member bank as such. Say, Pradeep Sankar, sir, your last comments before I hand it over again to ED sir and MD sir for the last comments, sir. Sir, you have to unmute yourself, sir. Pradeep Sankar, sir. Sankar sir, आपको unmute करना पड़ेगा. Yes, sir. Now you are audible, Pradeep Sankar, sir.
Okay. I just wanted to thank especially the MD, Mr. Hari Shankar, and Mr. Farid Ahmed. I think the program has been conducted very, very methodically, very professionally. And I believe most of the questions which have been raised, even initially when I, in my opening remarks, was showing some concern about the smaller of the small, most of them have been addressed by the bank very beautifully. And I'm sure with the comments which have been made today by the ED and the MD, a message will go across to the entire MSME sector that the bank is there for them. The whole purpose of this webinar was to show that the bank is customer friendly. It wants to have the smaller of the small. It wants to have the MSME sector. I think that major task has been fulfilled very beautifully. My thanks to both the MD as well as the ED for having graced this webinar and addressed the questions very beautifully.
Sir, Hari Shankar ji, your remarks, your closing remark to all the MSME entrepreneurs and to all your customers and all to the viewers who have been watching this this live, sir. They have been so patient enough, sir. We have seen the numbers all along. You can see all the audience's numbers, sir. You can understand how important they are, you are for them, sir. Your closing remarks, sir.
I would rather again, I would say how important they are for all of us. How important this sector is for the country. Because see, they are producing, they are creating, they are adding value, and they are generating the cash, and then they are circulating the cash in the economy, and the money circulation happens that way. So these are all difficult times. I'll be I'm not speaking anything extraordinary. These are difficult times, but basically, human mind nature is to be resilient. Whatever may be happening, there is a time we are there. We have a confidence that we have a faith that see, we'll be able to come out of all these kind of troubles, and there is a tomorrow that we will be able to enjoy our life the way we were enjoying it now. Not that we are not. In this period also, each family has thrived. Each family, there would have been difficulties, there would have been moments of anxiety, there would have been moments of sadness, but then we are there. We are still there. So that is the greatest confidence. When we are still there, in that all of us are there. The banker is also there. And that banker tells that, see, let us face this together. The bank is there to support. The bank is also to tell you that, see, this is the rule, this is the road. Don't leave this road. So we will do it systematically as per the rules, and then we will evoke a behavior which will be well within the systems and procedures, and then we will be there, we will be surviving. Together, we are trying to create a better economy, together we are trying to create a better MSME infrastructure, better MSME mindset, and better confidence level in all. So I pray that, see, that be the blessing for today's interaction.
Fantastic, sir. Farid Ahmed, sir, your closing remarks for the people, sir, for all the MSME entrepreneurs, sir.
As our MD said, no doubt this is a very challenging time for all of us, particularly in the business community to the MSMEs. And because of the certain, not only the pandemic, because they lost their business and all, they have made certain payments. As we discussed in the earlier, wages, rents, these are the fixed costs they have to incur, they have to make up in the coming days. So my advice to them is avail the need-based credit from the banks, put it to a proper use, and come up in the life in the coming days, and contribute in the same way which they are contributing to the GDP of the country and also the export sector. All my good wishes to our MSMEs in the coming days.
Thank you so much, Hari Shankar sir, for Farid Ahmed sir, and the entire Punjab and Sindh Bank. It was one of the finest discussion we had, sir, wherein we could discuss freely and frankly all sort of issues. Thank you again, Hari Shankar sir, Farid Ahmed sir. You are as brilliant as usual, sir. You are always there, sir. Each and every word that you spoke, sir, it clearly demonstrated, sir, your experience and your hands-on approach, sir. And you never shied away from any of the tough questions or whatever the audience that is there, whether you had the answer or not answer. Just wanted to highlight few points, sir. Just wanted as a concern area for us. Some sectors which may not be the blue-eyed boy of the banker right now, like real estate, auto ancillary, require your sympathetic approach and will go a long way in the nation building process, sir. There are some sectors which are definitely may not be one of the blue-eyed boys, sir, but things has to be taken in the right perspective, sir. Rating downgrade will be a common phenomenon this year, sir. Bankers and the MSMEs and the corporate need to be properly equipped to deal with issues, sir. This is where I suppose we as an industrial association, you as a banker, as an MSME, we all will work towards it to try and sanitize this issue, how to overcome this issue, sir. The third problem which I foresee, the problem that might be and which we need to work on it, it is the long-term financing, sir. Long-term financing, how this epidemic and how this promoter we will plan on a long-term basis, sir. The long-term planning parlance, the credit appraisal process for the long term, because we don't know when these black swan events will come in. Whether in this 10, 12 years of funding, this type of black swan events now need to be taken into account while doing the project appraisal. So how this entire appraisal process will be redrafted, how this entire loan appraising process will be done. Same way the entrepreneur and the banker, sir, we need to work it out jointly to take it that way, sir. Fourthly, sir, I suppose, sir, MSME require a sympathetic approach in this difficult time. We hope that your broad-heartedness will take India's MSME a long way, sir. Thank you so much, Hari Shankar, sir, Farid Ahmed, sir, and the entire people of Punjab and Sindh Bank, and my entire CII people for making this happen, sir. I am absolutely, at the end, I'd like to thank everyone at, again, the bank, Resurgent India, FAJS, Satya Group for making this webinar a successful event. Thank you once again for all the speakers for making it convenient and attending it, sir. I can just assure you, sir, I'm seeing that there are 28 messages right now congratulating, and they are trying to convey through me, through you, that sir, they have thoroughly enjoyed this, and it was very, very informative for them, sir. Thanks for coming in and spending time with for folded hands, sir. I thank you to all the Punjab and Sindh Bank people and for all the banking at last. Thank you so much, sir, for making it convenient. Thank you, Pradeep, sir. Thank you, everybody, sir. Wish you all the best, sir. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye, sir. Thank you.